Hello and welcome to the Radical Podcast, inspired by the essence of the word radical, proceeding from the root. We explore the roots of metaphysical wisdom.
This season is all about divination, tarot, and the power held within our intuition. This is The Radical with Nicole and Christina, the two metaphysical girls in the material world. Hello and welcome to The Radical. I'm Nicole.
And this is Christina.
Our episode today is on the 2, 3, and 4 of Pentacles, our 3 Capricorn Minor Arcana cards.
It's Pentacle season, the winter.
Capricorn is our cardinal earth sign.
We're on the second half of the top half of the zodiac wheel. It's like we're in like the final chapter. It's coming to like the zodiac wheel closes at
Pisces.
Yeah, at Pisces.
We're in the 10th house with Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about the very pinnacle of our birth chart, the 10th house, the 12 o'clock position. We have tons to cover, but we will wrap up the episode with 2 messages from the universe. I am using a deck by Alana Fairchild called Love Your Inner Goddess.
I'm just going to jump right in because going to go down the list. Qualities, properties, attributes, correspondences. First, let's start with pentacles. What do the pentacles represent? Oh, and we just talked about the difference between a pentagram and a pentacle. It's a pentagram with a circle around it. In tarot, it represents the element of earth. They can also be coins, discs, and in our very modern day playing cards, they're diamonds. That is the suit associated with pentacles. This is the material world. This is our senses of resilience, security. This has to deal with responsibility and reliability. But most importantly, pentacles, or most prominently, pentacles are our resources. Our bodies, our finances, our gardens, our pets, our livestock, our books, our trees, our houseplants, all of our things. All of our things, all of our resources, all of the stuff around us. The card names, these are enumerated because it's in the Minor Arcana, 2, 3, and 4 of Pentacles. A touch on numerology for 2. Generally, 2 has to deal with choices need to be made before you proceed, and also the sprouting stalk in that very natural other set of numerology definitions I have. And then the 3 deals with creativity and cooperation being required. And in the natural world, it's like the leaves and the tendrils. 4, stability. Stability supports you and also could represent healthy roots are established, which has to do a lot with stability. The zodiac sign, Capricorn. 2 of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. 3 of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn. And the 4 of Pentacles is the Sun in Capricorn. Oh, did you notice that Jupiter, Mars, and Sun are all fire planets? Now I want to look back and see if there was any connections with the other groups of 3 in the Minor Arcana. In the Tree of Life correspondence, the 2 of Pentacles is the top right sphere on that Tree of Life. It's Shakma, the spear of wisdom. The 3 of Pentacles is the top left sphere, Binah, sphere of understanding. And then we go back onto the other side. The 4 of Pentacles is the middle right Chesed, the sphere of love. Talking more specifically about the symbols, themes, and histories of those 3 cards, I'm just pointing out a few. There's a lot more that we're going to get into in the card comparison. But a few to note specifically from the Rider Waite Smith deck. Only the 3 of Pentacles are the Pentacles black in color, as they're depicted as being part of the stonework on the front of the building. And that has to do with represents enduring and lasting work and enduring lasting reward. The Four of Pentacles is the sun in Capricorn, and there's a king there. And when we start getting into our archetype study, sun and kings often go together. The Two of Pentacles, there's the balancing or the juggling, and also like a dancing, and like this being light on your feet. I guess I didn't pay attention as close to this card as I did recently, but if you look at the background of that card, at the ships on the water, it's almost like a cartoon with the waves being so like rollicky, and one of the ships is like almost at like a side angle, but it doesn't feel violent. It doesn't feel disastrous. It feels like the ships are fine. They just have to go through this roller coaster of ups and downs. And that has a lot to do with the symbology of the Two of Pentacles. The one theme that stuck out to me the most that I'm going to point out is the age of the characters in these three cards. The Two is depicted as a youth creating or amplifying, or really just kind of balancing and dancing with these pentacles. The Three is like middle-aged workers. Everybody in that card has a job. Everybody in that card is doing something, right? They're collaborating and they're working for their money. They're working in their chosen profession. The Four and that king, to me, is still working age, but also maybe just like at a higher level than those working professionals. To me, this is like managing, diversifying your pentacles. You've got some at your feet, you've got some at your heart, and you've got some pentacles, you've got some at your head. When I look at it, I see as you can't put all your pentacles into one basket. You have to take responsibility for what you're doing with your pentacles, and you need to get smart. You need to diversify, manage correctly, be grateful, be generous. It's kind of like that thing we said in the in our affirmation challenge. The universe isn't going to give you more if you're not taking care of what you have.
So our Two of Pentacles is the first Capricorn decan when the sun is at 0 degrees of Capricorn, starting at around December 21st. All three of these minor arcana cards share the Devil card as the corresponding major arcana card because of Capricorn. Crowley's Hermetic title for the Two of Pentacles is the Lord of Change. Jupiter, like Christina said, Jupiter rules this decan. Jupiter is in its fall in Capricorn, but we have the Wheel of Fortune's influence on this card because of Jupiter. Three of Pentacles, the second Capricorn decan, when the sun is at 10 degrees of Capricorn, right around the new year, December 31st, January 1st is usually when the sun's at 10 degrees of Capricorn. This title, Crowley's Hermetic title for this card, the Lord of Work. Mars rules this decan, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. And Mars as a ruler brings the influence of the Tower card. And the Four of Pentacles, the Lord of Power, for the third Capricorn decan around January 11th. And the Sun rules this decan. And the corresponding card is the Sun card in the major arcana for the Four of Pentacles. In 36 Secrets, T. Susan Chang says the story of these three cards is about starting with a couple of coins in your pocket And with the help of the Two of Pentacles, you make smart trades until you're in business in the Three of Pentacles. You accumulate capital and business turns into power in the Four of Pentacles. So the story, we could think of it as making business choices. You could think of it that way. Financial choices and decisions. In the three, there's creation, collaboration, and in the four, we see the stabilization. I started to think about this story, these three cards, also being the story of what I'm calling the energetics of prosperity. I started thinking about our tax day episode when we were talking about prosperity and the energetics of like abundance and money and security flowing. In that episode, we talked about how currency comes from the Latin, and in Latin, currere means to flow. So, this idea of circulating money, letting it move, letting it flow, and that accumulating or hoarding our pentacles, our resources, our money creates an energetic block in the circulation, in that flow. In that episode, we actually talked about pentacles and how it's easy to think of pentacles as money to make that one-to-one association, but it's other things like our time, our possessions, our health. These things have value as well, and they also make up our resources. Same thing with our Saturnian learning experiences. Saturn rules Capricorn, so there's going to be this idea with Saturn present that we learn through our experiences and gain wisdom through them, and those have value. I think the Two of Pentacles is the start of that story when we're building our awareness and embodiment of prosperity. And when we embody it and become aware of how our energy helps us create abundance and maintain abundance, we're able to maintain a sense of prosperity without going into that hoarding that I think the Four of Pentacles can warn us about.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you have it tied to specifically, we're talking about currency, we're talking about like money. But as you were talking, I was thinking about we start all kinds of intentions, and think about this, the new year, if you use the calendar year, or we clearly all use the calendar year. If you want to set an intention at the winter solstice or at the spring equinox or at the calendar new year, this is the time of that Two of Pentacles energy. One of my resolutions is I want to start doing a weekly yoga class. Well, that is Two of Pentacles. I need to be lighthearted about this. I need to be flexible about this. I not give myself a hard time if I miss a class or try something different. And being light on my feet and going through the up and down, I'm going to take a class I don't like. That doesn't mean I should give up on the whole thing. I might hurt my shoulder in a class. That means I got to try something different. To me, that's Two of Pentacles energy as well. Not
Yes.
just starting businesses, but also starting like I said, resolutions or intentions for ourselves about our bodies and about like all these other all these other ventures that we could be moving into at this time of the year or thinking about at this time of the year.
Yes. And I think the last little bit I want to say about this sort of energy or embodiment of prosperity is the deep inner work that goes along with manifestation. We've talked about this before as well. our reality is the culmination of not just our hard work, but our thoughts, our emotional state of being, our spiritual state of being, as well as our passion and our drive. And we get into that in the Three of Pentacles with Mars exalted in Capricorn. And I didn't know you were going to say this earlier, Christina, but I have it written down. The universe will not give you more of what you want unless you're taking care of what you have.
We both got that message from these cards.
Yes. And ultimately, when we live in a state of being like energetically, spiritually, and emotionally prosperous as well, we have so much more harmony in our life. And that, I think, is the positive, or kind of the the non-warning of the Four of Pentacles. So when we look at these cards with Jupiter in Capricorn in the Two of Pentacles, we can think about the self-mastery of Capricorn, that committed and devotional Capricorn, mixed with the expansive luck and growth of Jupiter, all in the name of change. This card is the Lord of Change. With Mars in Capricorn in the Three of Pentacles, the Lord of Work, we get the tenacity and the persistence of Capricorn with the energy and the drive of Mars. In 36 Secrets, T. Susan Chang says the engines of industry may have been built in the Two of Pentacles in the previous decan, but now, running on Mars fuel, the factory is in full production mode. And she named this chapter Time and Materials. So we have this idea of time coming back again with Saturn and Capricorn, and then materials and hard work, Mars. Four of Pentacles, we have the Sun in Capricorn, the Lord of Power. I kind of looked at the shadow side of this card. So we have the materialistic chains of Capricornians, the Capricornian shadow. We can think back about the Devil card and those chains that bind us, and the egocentricity of the Sun shadow. One of my books said this card could be warning us about, or could be a message that we're forgetting to live. And they showed a picture from a different deck in this particular book, and it's this like decomposing body. Like, you're not quite sure if this is like a living or a dead person, but they're clutching a ledger book in this very dark, cobwebby, tomb-like space. So this idea of like being obsessed with money, clinging to the ledger, and their life has just passed them by. Card comparison. In my Zodiac Tarot, in the Two of Pentacles, we have a figure wearing cute clothes, of course. She's holding two yellow pentacles, one in each hand. And you can tell she's walking forward. She's taking steps forward, but she's looking back at the pentacle she's holding sort of behind her. And so this made me think of, since we're at the beginning of the story, it's a checkpoint. Are all areas of your life flowing harmoniously together? In the Three of Pentacles, it's very similar to the Rider Waite Smith depiction. There's three figures working together. One seems to be holding like a blueprint, another one books, and the third is tending to the three pentacles hanging on a wall. In the Four of Pentacles in the Zodiac Tarot, it's very similar. There's four pentacles. There's a figure kind of cradling one of the pentacles in her arms. There's a second pentacle sort of at her root chakra, which I think is an interesting placement because that brings up questions around security Is this person feeling secure in this card? There's also the sun.
The sun
At
looks
her-
so good in that. I love the sun imagery in that card.
But is it a warning? Because the flames are like the sun's rays or flames are kind of getting close to her. Is this a warning? Don't get burned. Don't become so rigid and obsessive. Don't create an energetic block, right? So I don't know. I kind of see the sun in this card as a little bit of a warning as well. All right, the Medicine Woman Tarot. I actually see a story in these 3 cards. I'm happy about it. The story actually begins in the Ace of Stones. We talked about that way back in episode 55. In the Ace of Stones in this deck, there's a figure wearing green. She's climbing a ladder towards a sparkling crystal that seems to be handed down to her from the sky. In the Two of Stones, the same figure is like rinsing, maybe washing this crystal in a stream of water. I think it's possible that she's doing some kind of like ritual with the crystal. In the 3, she's showing the crystal to an elder in her community, and there seems to be a conversation about this crystal. And in the 4, Christina noticed that she changed clothes. She's wearing purple now instead of green, but it's the same character because she has the same shoes, purse, belt, and headband, but she's making jewelry. I don't know if the large looking crystal has been like broken up into little pieces, but she's making jewelry now. She's indoors, which to me is like a symbol of security. And we see other symbols of abundance and security. Like she has a basket of food kind of in the corner. Antique Anatomy Tarot, the 2 of Coins, each have a heart on them. One of the coins has yellow flowers, the other has purple. So interesting that you started talking about purple. That can symbolize our intuition, our spirituality. Yellow, solar plexus, our drive, kind of those Mars characteristics. And then the heart itself representing our desires. So all those are represented on this 2 of Coins, and we're figuring out how to balance and harmonize those different aspects. The 3 of Coins, we have 3 coins on the card. The top and the bottom coins have a skeletal hand. The top coin, the fingers pointing up. The bottom coin, the fingers pointing down. We have snakes, crayfish, salamanders on this card. It's making me think of different tarot cards. So with the one finger pointing up, one finger pointing down, a little bit of like magician, manifestation energy. The salamander, I think, is on the King of Wands.
That's a fire symbol.
Yeah, so when you said these are all fire, celestial bodies, we have the salamander, that yang energy. The crayfish is on the moon tarot card, so we have some yin energy. And the middle coin has what I think are purple pansy flowers. And pansies are named after the French word penser for thought. Pansies are said to signify deep thinking and mindfulness, while releasing shame and awkwardness, helping us to feel comfortable with our inner radiance and self-expression. All right. And then in this deck, Antique Anatomy, the 4 of Coins, we have 4 coins, and on each coin there's like piece of broken jawbone. In her guidebook, she says money becomes useless if you aren't using it to pay for the things you need. This card is a reminder that material wealth requires flow, which is exactly what we've been talking about. So, the way I see this card is when we don't participate in the flow, in that embodiment of prosperity, things will break down. And that can be hoarding money, our effort, our time, anything pentacle related.
There's also this thing when we talk about management and how you're spending your money, that if you're paying for things that you don't use, like subscriptions, apps, magazines you're not reading, I mean, all of that diminishes your flow, because if you're not managing and being mindful of what you're doing for your money, with your money, you're not, the universe isn't going to give you more. Not just
Yes.
spending it to keep up with other people or to buy things because you think because other people have it. What do we actually need?
And I think that brings up a good point. Money is useless if you aren't using it to pay for the things you need.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not buying the things you need, then you're either hoarding your money and buying nothing, and you're doing without, and you're introducing like more struggle into your life in favor of keeping money in your bank account. The other side of that is, if you're not using it to pay for the things that you need, you're using it to pay for the things that you don't need. Like Christina just said, you're wasting it. Mystic Mondays, there are two iridescent circles, one on top of the other, and those two circles are contained within a vertical infinity symbol. So kind of one iridescent circle in each circle of the infinity sign. In the Three of Pentacles, we have a triangle, we have a red circle in each corner or part of the triangle. And those three red circles are connected by lines, which form kind of this secondary inner triangle. And these three circles are red. On the Two and the Four of Pentacles, they're like this iridescent pearly color. But it made me think of how Christina said on the Three of Pentacles in the Rider Waite Smith deck, the pentacles are black. So this deck also depicts the Three of Pentacles as a different color. I wrote down in my notes that this could be representing Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Four of Pentacles, we have structure now in this card. The infinity symbol in the Two of Pentacles is more like two-dimensional. And then in the Four of Pentacles, they're kind of housed within this three-dimensional rectangle. So now we have structure out of the embodiment, I guess, of the prosperity principles that we were working on in the Two of Pentacles. That becomes our base or our foundation that creates that security and structure in the Four. Those were my cards.
Okay. Card comparison for my deck. Starting with the Two of Pentacles in the Spirit Song tarot deck. The authors chose, it's called Two of Crystals. They use crystals for pentacles, very earthy. And they have the kangaroo and the two keywords of balance and adaptability. The kangaroo as a spirit animal, well, first of all, a group of kangaroos is called a mob. And kangaroos can easily move forward, but it is difficult for a kangaroo to move backwards. From like an echo of their natural skills is an element of the kangaroo and forward motion.
Mm-hmm.
as a spirit animal, they represent forward movement. There's also a very nurturing element to kangaroo because of the way that they raise their young. And because they hop, and they're, we talked about dancing and about being light on your feet and about that energy of this card. I think the kangaroo projects that as well as a spiritual animal. The author writes, Kangaroo is here to remind you that challenges will be met when you're flexible, and issues will be more easily handled when your mind is balanced. For the wild unknown, Two of Pentacles, two keywords, balance and change. The author here, or the author and the illustrator, have a butterfly with the two pentacles in the bottom half of the wings connected by that infinity symbol. And there's the rainbow color in the infinity symbol. And the butterfly being, again, very light. But also, the author pointed out here in their guidebook that the butterfly represents this change, that it cannot go back. It can only go forward. Once it leaves its caterpillar form, it is a butterfly. It cannot then become a caterpillar again. In the Secrets of the Witch's Garden, the Two of Pentacles, the keyword is division. This is a bit of an echo from the Rider Waite Smith deck. This is an earth elemental representing a youth juggling or balancing or walking through the forest with the two pentacles above their head, joined by that infinity symbol. This is a very earthy card, a very natural, nature focused, that the creatures around her are a chipmunk and a squirrel. I love that. And then for the Sacred She, number 2 in the earth, in the dark green cards, they have be here now. There's a dog holding a stick in its mouth, standing between I would say Egyptian sarcophagus and looks like a suit of metal. The author wants to talk about staying in the present moment. And now that I look back at this, the dogs generally, as how I understand their nature, live very much in the present moment. The dog, two things, either wants just to be joyous and play in this moment, or is holding on to this stick like a possession. It depends on how you look at it and where you are. But the two, the sarcophagus and the suit of armor, to me, feel like the ways we close ourselves off from the world. Okay, for the Three of Pentacles, the Spirit Song has this as the Three of Crystals. They have chosen the honeybee as the spirit animal with the two keywords of collaboration and productivity. The honeybee, one of my favorite little creatures. When they are in a hive, they're called a colony. When they're on the move, they're called a swarm. The honeybee, the honeybee as a spirit animal symbolizes community, productivity. You can think about it more specifically as working harmoniously with others. I mean, we place this element of joy on them because they have the dance and they have like the way that they communicate with each other. But also because they're creating honey, there's this element of sweetness. I mean, bees are looking for flowers and making honey. We put a lot of joy and happiness in that process. There's also a levity and a lift to the honeybee as well. The Three of Pentacles in my Wild Unknown tarot deck. Three of Pentacles, the keywords are teamwork, determination, and focus. This has three pentacles at the joined together in a triangle. That seems to be the symbol of the three, the three pentacles, triangles. They're in a triangle at the foot of a mountain. The mountain is very beautiful. I love mountains. So to me, that mountain doesn't look aggressively daunting. It looks like something that would be a good challenge. And it looks to me a little inviting. that mountain. Each pentacle has a color, but the colors bleed into one another in the connecting lines to form the triangle. For the secrets of the Witch's Garden, 3 of Pentacles, keyword collaboration. And this is a echo of the Rider Waite Smith deck. This has a witch repairing or modifying a garden lattice. And there's 3 pentacles at the top in that triangle pattern. And there's these beautiful vining flowers all interweaved like tendrils growing up the bottom of the lattice. Her collaborators are a groundhog and a little fairy. The groundhog is holding the blueprints or the plans. It's got a little pencil behind its ear. This is, to me, is like, out of all the 3 of Pentacles, that's the one I want to be working in with the groundhog and the fairy and this beautiful sunny garden. In the Sacred She, it's the number 3 of the earth element. The keyword is cooperation. This depicts hands clasped in a triangle, superimposed on a huge, beautiful sunflower. The sun, the triangle, the hands, collaboration, working together. I get a warm, happy feeling when I look at that card. The author in their guidebook talked a lot about environmentalism and the importance of working together to benefit the whole. It makes sense that there's definitely an earthy vibe to that, and the sunflower representing nature. For the 4 of Pentacles in the Spirit Song, 4 of Crystals, they chose the beaver. Keywords: control and security. A group of beavers is called a lodge.
That's a good one.
I know. And they generally live in family units. The beaver as a spirit animal: hard work, creativity, collaboration, and resourcefulness. Beavers create the dams, which create a secondary environment for other animals to live in. As a spirit animal, the beaver also increases the energy of actively building your dreams and creating a stable foundation for your life. You can take that, making an actual structure, and then take that further, is that if you are working with that energy, it's foundations for what you want to build your life on. For the Wild Unknown, the 4 of Pentacles, 2 keywords: possession and control. The 4 Pentacles are connected through overlapping, interwoven cords. I wrote down web. It's not very webby, though. It's more like they're tied. And now that I look at it, it could have like a cocoon element to that. They look like they could be balanced. They could be trying to pull away from one another. There's a lot that, when you look at this card, it depends on where you are and how you see the energy of this card moving, pulling together or pulling further away. But there is also the rainbow colors in this. It's blue along the outer edges. It turns red and green in the middle, and it's yellow in the center. You could also think about the energy flowing with the colors. But that's
there's also two of Pentacles in there. Do you know what I mean? So if you look at the top and bottom pentacle and the thread that connects them, that's one infinity sign, aka 2 of Pentacles. And then if you look at the left and the right pentacle, it's the same thing. So it's kind of like how in my Mystic Mondays deck, the 2 of Pentacles becomes your foundation for the 4.
Yes.
It's like that's your building block.
Now that I look at it, there's multiple infinity symbols in there. There could be 1, 2, and 3 of them, depending on how you look at it. Secrets of the Witch's Garden, 4 of Pentacles, keyword stability. They have chosen to make the king sitting on the throne made of stone. Now, that is very earthy. It still has a very natural element to it because it's sitting in the woods, and the leaves and the tendrils and the roots have started to grow up around the king sitting in stone. 2 pentacles at the feet, 1 pentacle at the solar plexus, and 1 pentacle at the top of the head. There is a bird sitting on the statue's, or the stone king's right shoulder, and that is a jay. The energy of the jay is bold communication, curiosity, truth, and protection. Jays also represent intelligence and intuition, that small actions could lead to big payoffs because they bury seeds that can grow into trees. There are 2 European badgers in the lower right-hand corner. They're called European or Eurasian badgers. They're the badgers that have the really striking black and white faces. Fierce protection, tenacious courage, and also grounding, because they ground, they dig. This is such an earthy card. It also has to do with inner wisdom, and it could be linked to earth medicine, badgers. I don't see this as a negative. There is no negative and positive. It's what we see in it. To me, this king has chosen to be in this space, or whoever created this statue or whatever it represents. And now it has turned to nature so that we can learn the lessons of managing our pentacles and managing our energy, and what we do with that energy and how we use it.
I can see a little bit of the don't forget to live warning, if you want to call it a warning, because as soon as I looked at this card, I thought about the card from my book where it's kind of tomb-like. So I can see a little bit of don't forget to live.
But is it a statue, or did he turn to stone? Is this a memorial, or is this a sarcophagus? It could be any of those things and all of those things. But that is what the card is, and that's what those animals are, and that's where it is. And listeners, you could go look at it and send us an email, tell us how you feel about it. And then the final card in the Sacred She, it's the 4 of Earth. It's called Consuming. It has an incredibly busy background of black and red with a lot of patterns and symbols and jumbled overlaying images. There's a open mouth with perfect pearly white teeth. There's an image of the earth with the starry sky in the middle of the mouth. The author once again is talking about what we are doing with our resources, time and attention being 2 incredibly important resources that we have. Are we taking as good care of our time and attention as we are of our bodies and our money and our kids and our pets and our home? What are we consuming? I don't think about food when I look at this. I think about stuff. I think about images. I think about the world. I think about energy.
It's like all the earthly ways that we can consume. Earthly consumption.
The images in the background, to me, feel very like culture, and it's not a earthy natural card. It's very much, it feels almost digital to me. Some really beautiful, fascinating cards.
Putting it all together, 2 of Pentacles, equilibrium, counterbalancing dualities, harmonizing, setting priorities, choosing / deciding how to spend our time and our energy, rhythm, flow, flexibility and vacillation, changes and opportunities, because this is a Jupiter card. I wrote down a saying, if it comes, let it. If it goes, let it. You're kind of allowing things to come and go. You're letting things vacillate between the two opposites. The Three of Pentacles, productivity, collaboration, even if it's from your garden creatures and not other people. Competence, expertise, craftsmanship, high standards, and leaving your tangible mark on the world, since we're in the realm of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, we have gathering resources, security, stability. It could be a savings account, like we have enough money in our savings account that we feel secure and stable. Having a solid financial foundation, maybe in another way, like paying off your car or your mortgage. Enrichment, abundance, and prosperity. However, this card, I think, can give us a warning. And this is from my guided tarot book. She says, with so much emphasis on needing to see the physical manifestation of stability, there is very little room to create more abundance through generosity and opening up to the unlimited creative powers of the universe. And I think that's kind of exactly what we've talked about in previous episodes in this embodiment of prosperity. It's more than just working really hard and getting money in return. It's the energetics of living in a state of gratitude, for example. It's practicing the 7 spiritual laws of success and letting the universe help us. It's about giving and receiving. It's all these principles that work together that help us hang on to prosperity and bring more in. So I liked how she phrased that. In reverse, the Two of Pentacles can point to disharmony or destabilization.
It's no surprise to me that the question to write the reversal for this card from my Secrets of the Witch's Garden tarot deck is, how can I lighten up?
How can I step lightly? How can I move more freely? How can I be non-attached? Three of Pentacles could be a half-hearted effort, being mediocre in our attempts. It could also be a lack of confidence or clashing and competing with other people.
So that question, again, no surprise. How can I collaborate kindly? That can help you get unstuck from this card's energy.
And then the Four of Pentacles in reverse, accumulation, greed, miserliness, lack mentality, fear, controlling behavior, or being materialistic.
And the question to write the reversal, what am I grasping at?
And we talked about that in our tax day and financial relationships podcast, because it could be like money trauma that you've inherited and you have this fear. Maybe you're grasping at control because underneath it all, you're so afraid of not having anything.
There's also this thing where there used to be a way to pay for services like cable or any of our types of entertainment, newspaper subscriptions, magazine subscriptions, and to cancel it, you had to go through various steps. Maybe you need to let go of this thought that you can't just go ahead and cancel something or order something or try out something. In the age that we live in today, you could have Netflix for 1 month, watch everything you want, and then cancel it. Are we grasping at the old way of doing things and we need to allow space to do this differently? Maybe it's time for us to start lightening up and realizing that it's a different age. We're in a different time now.
I think there's definitely themes of attachment and non-attachment in these cards. And with Saturn being the ruling planet for Capricorn, Saturn is our time and our taskmaster. So if you don't schedule things out, Saturn's just going to keep taking time from you.
I like that. There's also this element as Saturn talking about structure, that if we don't give ourselves times of the day or times of the week or time of the year, like we're at the winter solstice, the new year, we have the calendar new year and we have the solar new year. If you always before the new year take a hard look at all of your houseplants, if you take a hard look at all of your apps and you cancel everything or you weed through it, like you don't take it with you into the next year, if we don't actually put some structure or give ourselves the time or the expectation to do that, will we never do it? A little bit of structure is good. Too much structure, not good.
Are you ready for the messages from the universe?
Yes, you'd better just do it, or else I'm going to keep going off on my little tangents over here about structure and resolutions and New Year's.
Okay, so I have card A or B, and card A, and this is from the Love Your Inner Goddess deck. So card A is Lioness. Your ability to love yourself and be empowered is maturing. You are learning the real beauty and value of you comes from within. You are learning to rise above emotional game playing with honesty. You can enjoy your attractiveness as a person without allowing it to control your life or your sense of worth. If others try to control you through their opinions about your appearance or in any other way, you will be strong enough to recognize it as their issue and nothing to do with you. Others will be attracted to your true inner beauty, appreciating your loveliness and enjoying how it helps them feel good about who they are too. Sacred ritual, invite your inner lioness to communicate with you. Imagine, see, feel, or pretend that you can see her moving within your own soul. You may sense her resting, seeking out her lion mate, protecting her cubs, or out on the hunt. Trust her to show you the wisdom you need for yourself now as you play with her lioness spirit and soul medicine. Card B, priority of purpose. You are a dreamer, but you are also meant to be a doer. It's the right time to cast off some of the demands on your time and attention that are keeping you from pursuing your true purpose. If you have many dreams, that's fine, but it is wise to focus on what you can do now. Allow your other dreams to percolate in the background for a while. When it's time to attend to them, you'll know. For now, do what you can and don't be afraid to make a sacrifice or two along the way. Those sacrifices will be repaid in more ways than you currently know. You won't lose anything by dropping the distractions and going for it. Which sounds very Saturn to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred ritual. Write a list entitled, "This is what matters most to my heart and soul." Read your list aloud and then say, "I trust that my soul is blessed and will show me how to create my most beautiful destiny, one step at a time." Thank you, universe.
Thank you, universe.
And we will be back next week to talk all about Saturn, in case we didn't do that enough today.
I know, right?
So until then, listeners, thank you, and we love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode. The Radical Podcast is created and produced by Nicole and Christina.
Music by Van Horton. His Instagram is Van Horton Music. Stay in touch with us at linktr.ee/theradicalpodnc.